Hi guys, how we doing? So we may have a little bit more sound than normal today. I do actually have my door open. It's absolutely gorgeous out. There's no sense in wasting the power on the air conditioner when I can have fresh air. But today we're actually going to start doing some of the more detailed stuff on these guys. We're going to do their hair. We're going to do their boots. So since the first part is his boots being black, I'm going to start with that. And then we'll start with their hair. And then I'll do her boots last. Depending on what kind of time frame that takes, we'll see if I end up doing some of their accessories as well. But at least for now, I want to work on some of the more noticeable details. There we go. So I am going to bring him this way. So it has been one heck of a crazy, crazy long weekend. But today is actually stunningly gorgeous. So I am definitely not complaining even a little bit. I've actually been able to do a lot around the house and spend a good amount of time outside, which always makes me happy. Let's go ahead and get the back of his boots done. I'm just getting one little set of details there that there's just no way I could turn them to see in the camera. So I'm not sure this week what we'll do on Thursday. For those of you not in the States, Thursday is the 4th of July, which is our Independence Day. And I love my country, but I'm not the biggest fan of the 4th of July because everybody insists on doing fireworks, which scare my poor pets half to death every year. So we usually spend that day getting things around the house, making noises that aren't scary so that we don't actually lose a pet to other people's celebrations. We prefer doing it that way rather than complaining about other people celebrating, because complaining really doesn't do much except make everybody's day a little bit rougher. There are things you can do to make it not so noisy, and I'm a fan of that theory. We play movies and music and things like that and just make it a little bit easier on our animals. So we've got his boots done. And I think I do want to go ahead and do the soles of hers real quick. I think I want to make her boots brown, but I do want the soles black. So we'll knock that out real quick. And then we'll start on their hair. Which I am going to do kind of a default gray. And then kind of highlight and lowlight their hair separately. There we go. So, of course, if you're going to do it right, you got to add some silver. You can't do just gray. And there goes my blue paint, which I really should have cleaned up off the table anyway, so. I forget sometimes that I have a door on this room, and when I do remember it and decide to leave it open, it's kind of nice. That's still awful dark, isn't it? Let's bring that up a few shades here. That's a bit better. Well, one more round of white, I think, and a little bit more silver, and we'll have the color I'm hoping for, I think. So much easier to darken a paint than it is to lighten it up, but it's better to go through the different shades, because if you go from one extreme to the other right off the bat, then you'll miss the shade you're looking for, I think. I think we're going to make his hair just a hair darker than hers, and hers I think we're going to add a little bit of yellow tones too, just for fun. Maybe she was a blonde before she went gray, you never know. Well, we're getting there. Let's see. Let's add a little touch more of the silver. And then I think just a little hair more white. Or a lot more white, as it were. There we go. That's what we were looking for. So that's the gray I was looking to accomplish. So we're going to start on his hair, and then we're going to lighten it up again for hers. And I think we'll go in with darker and lighter shades for highlights and lowlights, because nobody's hair is all one color perfectly. This is a little bit tricky. Am I right up in your faces there? Maybe just a touch, but that's all right. We'll have to go in and do his eyebrows and mustache, of course. I'm just letting him have a seat for the moment so that it kind of gives my arm a break. You wouldn't think the vinyl resin would be particularly heavy, but after a while it does get that way. Especially when you're holding it at weird angles. But it does make a difference when they have a little bit of color on their heads, doesn't it? And there's paint on my hands. Of course. And there's just a little messy in the back, isn't it? So that's not such a terrible thing. Maybe it was a windy day when they were sitting there. You never know. There's so many little stories you can make up for an older couple just sitting on a bench, reading a book and knitting. Or maybe she's crocheting. It doesn't really show. Could be either one. Let's finish this little gentleman up here. I do actually kind of love that his hair is just that little bit unruly. We're just going to come in and hit that mustache. I do apologize if I'm in the frame. I know my fluffy head is not what you're looking to watch, but we gotta get him nice and detailed. Boy, that made a difference, didn't it? There we go. So there's him, looking rather surprised. I wonder what's happening in the book there. So now, as I said, we're going to add some yellow tones. And we're going to lighten this up just a touch more. I think we need a stronger yellow. Buttercream kind of color just disappeared in there. looks rather extreme, doesn't it? But basically, what we're trying to do is just create a soft undertone. We don't want to go green, which of course is what it's trying to do. Don't know why colors don't ever want to do what you tell them to. They just want to kind of do their own thing. Green was definitely not the ideal here. Just more of a light gray with just a really, really soft yellow undertone. And if you notice, I am only mixing the middle for the most part. I am intentionally leaving those other tones so that I can kind of pull them in as I need them to soften the color into the tone I'm looking for, which does not seem to be cooperating. Let's do a hint more white and maybe a hint more gray. I know you guys aren't looking to sit here and watch me mix paint all day, but sometimes this is what it takes. You just have to keep trying until you find the color you're really looking to accomplish. And sometimes it just does not want to go to the color you are trying to accomplish, and you just have to keep playing with it. Yeah, maybe. It's really hard to say. I think we are going to cheat just a little bit and add this color shift in and see if that helps kind of turn the tides a little bit here. There we go. Yes, I could have gone with more of a blue undertone for her. That would have probably been kind of funny with the old little blue-haired lady saying, but I think if I come back over her with just a hint of gold and a hint of silver, I think we'll get the point I was trying to accomplish across. I have to grab a smaller brush for that little section there. Ooh. Let's make sure we haven't gone out of you guys' line of sight there. They really did some cute little details on this. Like the little curls on the back of her hair. And I'm going to just pull these guys around this way so that I don't have to pick them up again right now. There we go. So you guys do have me in the 190s now. What do you think we should do when we hit 200? What's a good way to thank you guys for hitting 200 subscribers? I've thought about a few different options. I don't know that anything is really jumping out yet. It could be anywhere from days to months down the road, so it is something I'm kind of thinking about. Just wondering if you guys have any ideas on how that might be. Set you down for a second. Turn these two back around here. Grab one of my bitty brushes here. And this is just so I can come in here and grab this area between his face and her hairline. And that helps for coming up underneath as well. Let's give her, don't want quite that bright. There we go. It's a little bit better, right? I didn't realize these guys were going to take me that long on this part. So I'm going to go ahead and do her boots, and then we're going to come back and do a couple of things to highlight their hair. Excuse me for the boarding house reach there. That will do. I love listening to the birds outside. I think I should work back here with the door open more often, but sometimes it's just too hot for that. Now today is actually, it's in the 80s, but the humidity is just almost non-existent, which is a wonderful, beautiful thing. There we go. Whoops. I'm going to scoot the bench back. And once again, kind of funny. I can hear their movie in the background, and I've watched all of these movies so many times at this point that I could actually tell you exactly the point in the movie that they're watching, that they're at, just by the little bit of music coming through. But I like my channel without copyright strikes, so we're not going to go too big into detail on that. Because my birds happen to like a brand of movie that loves to copyright strike people. Which I get it, their stuff is theirs, and they make a lot of money off of it, so. I don't actually make money off of this at this point, so I'm not looking to go up against anybody. Let's see. I just realized I missed the whole underside of her bun and working these guys around so that I can see this part of her boot. There we go. So I am going to cheat and just there we go. Now I need to figure out where in the world I put what I'm looking for. Let's see. I promise I'm not just playing over here. I'm looking for something rather specific. There we go. And the mate to that is over here. We're going to skip out on that. Go. I'm not going to take a lot of either of these. That iridescent craft paint that I did not even realize I had bought keeps popping up everywhere. So that's kind of fun. So basically what we're going to do, and we're going to do this on both of them, is just go over with a little of both gold and silver paints. And we're not doing this in any particular order. It's just adding some details, some highlights and lowlights. I think her will do both gold and silver. Him will do both, probably just the silver. So I want just almost a suggestion of the blonde in there. That does make a little bit of a difference there, doesn't it? And then I'm not going to do his eyebrows, but I figure the mustache might have a little hint of it in there. Just to show you, we're just kind of highlighting. Nothing too crazy, just adding a little bit of depth to it. There we go. And I'm not too worried if there's clumps and things like that, because as somebody with gray hair that is beginning to go gray, I can tell you, them things grow in no particular order. They just kind of pop up where they feel like it, and you just kind of got to live with it. I'm perfectly okay with that, though, because when my hair goes fully gray, I can dye it funny colors without having to bleach it. So that's, in my eyes, that's a win, because I want to do the fun and funky colors, but I have never bleached my hair, and I like it that way. So we're just waiting patiently for nature to take its course. So there we go. And somehow or another, we have skipped forward in time, I swear. It was 20 minutes the last time I checked. But we are going to stop here for today, and we'll come in tomorrow and finish up their details and maybe hit their skin. And until then, I will talk to you guys next time.